Hey guys, so my lesson plan and video is adapted towards the targeted learner Jonathan, who's a 3-year-old boy in a 12 to 1 setting. He's a very smart, very sweet boy. However, he has a difficulty following simple commands and routine commands without verbal and physical cues. There's no family history of any developmental delays or any genetic disorders. However, he does become overly aggressive at times, as he can hit the teacher or his peers. So this behavior becomes a huge concern when it starts to affect the other students. None of the students want to sit near him. They're all afraid of him. When it's music and movement time, they all want nothing to do with him. They're scared of him hurting them. So basically, Jonathan, he's very impulsive and he's extremely disruptive despite constant reminders and redirections. He does display a difficulty attending to the lesson, as he's always on the move. He distracts his peers. He wants to touch them. He wants to push them. If the teacher says something, he often says no, whether it's positive or negative attention that he's receiving. He just wants attention. He just displays attention-seeking behavior throughout the whole day. He needs constant reminders and constant redirecting throughout the day. Sometimes he tends to baby talk and he thinks he'll get what he wants. So just throughout the day, he just displays a difficulty. Whether it's transitioning, sitting through circle time, he just needs someone on top of him all the time to just prompt and redirect him. Through lesson time, we usually have a assistant that sits behind him to keep him focused on the task and on the book or lesson that we're learning. And most of the time, it does help and makes a huge difference. So back to the lesson plan. The lesson plan that I chose was dyeing pasta. I actually really love doing art with the preschoolers and incorporating colors, painting, markers, crayons, drawing, self-portraits. Anything to do with art, I just love when the children get to use their creativity and express themselves through art. So the central focus of the lesson would be students will be able to identify and name the colors. They will strengthen their pre-readiness skills, in this case, color recognition. So let's see. So the way that the teacher would start the lesson would be to direct all the children's attention to the rug. Well, first they would bring their chairs to the rug once they're called one by one. They bring their chair to the rug, they sit down, they wait for the rest of their friends to join them. The teacher starts off the lesson by showing the cover of the book. In this case, the book is Brown Bear, What Do You See? By Eric Carles. And I actually love this book, and I love Polar Bear, What Do You Hear? I just love the illustrations in these books. I love the rhythm and the rhyming in the books. I feel like all the kids, majority of the time, they catch on very quickly to the pattern, and they join in too. So every page when it starts with I see a, they usually catch on quickly and they join in. So the teacher starts off by showing the book and asks the children what the book might be about. Together the class looks at the book and they see the bear, they discuss what they think it might be about. Next, the teacher will ask the students what colors they see on the cover. So they'll go over the colors that they see on the cover of the book. Throughout the reading, the teacher will stop and ask numerous questions. The teacher will ask questions such as, have you ever seen a horse before? Can a horse actually be blue? If not, what color do we usually see horses? What color are these horses? Are they blue? Are they green? Are they brown? So the students will all be engaged answering the questions. Most of them usually laugh. They get interested. They get engaged. They stay on task. They like to all join in together, call out loud, no horses are blue. So then the teacher and the assistant will be there throughout the whole time to assist the children who either are English language learners or have trouble retaining the material of the book. After finishing the book, the teacher will ask the students to look around the classroom and name any other objects that they see or if any of the kids are wearing any of the colors from the book. And usually students love this because they love getting involved. So they'll all look at each other, they'll look at their own shirt, and they'll say what color they're wearing. They'll look around the room. So after that, the teacher will explain the activity that she has planned for the day, and usually kids get very excited. They want to start the activity, and they love to know that they're doing anything with paint or making a mess. So the teacher introduces that today they're going to be making colored pasta, and the students will all go into center times after. Once the students are in centers, the teacher usually calls 2 to 3 students to go in small group activity. There, the teacher will help and assist the students dye their own pasta. So the teacher prepares small containers of food dye in each small container. So there will be a red one, orange, green, blue, etc. And the students will have to take their pasta and they'll have to pick a color that they want of their choice, and they put the pasta in that color. And once the teacher says, okay, it's time to take it out, they'll take out the pasta, they'll put it on a newspaper or whatnot to dry, and they'll watch their pasta dry into that color that they chose. So when finishing the activity, the teacher will always ask the student about their work. Usually I like to write on a post-it note what the student said about their work. So if they dyed their work, if they dyed their pasta red, they'll usually say, I made red pasta, or they'll just simply say the word red. I have some nonverbal students also who actually just point to what they made. And I would just write this down on a post-it, put the post-it as their observation, work sampling. So in order to close the lesson and wrap it up, all the students will be gathered back onto the circle time rug. After completing the assignment, they'll all share what color they dyed their own pasta, and the teacher will ask, why did you choose that color? Is that your favorite color? If not, what is your favorite color? And they'll have a little discussion about the colors, renaming and recalling the names of the different colors. If there is more time, the students will watch a fun color recognition video. We have a DVD called Meet the Colors by Preschool Prep that the students absolutely love. They love to follow along with the fun, lively characters. They're always singing, dancing, doing fun things while being in that color. It's a very nice video for kids to learn the colors. Usually they stay very engaged and they call the colors out loud as they see them. So let's see. As for the English language learners, majority of the classroom is Spanish speaking, so it does help that the assistant is fluent in Spanish. So for the English language learners, the Spanish speaking assistant, she can easily recite the colors of the names of the colors in Spanish as I say them in English. So for example, if the teacher says, this is the color blue, the teacher would say azul, blue. So it's nice to have a bilingual assistant, and majority of the classroom, as I said, is Spanish speaking. Students with IEPs, such as Jonathan. Of course, extra time is always given to students that need it. Also, the assistant who's going to be there with Jonathan the entire time, assisting him with his work. Also, repeated directions constantly for the students who need it. They're going to get constant repeated direction of what needs to be done. Take the pasta, put it into the small container, leave it in there. And yeah, as for Jonathan, he just needs that one-to-one assistant just staying closely with him to keep him on the task. So for this lesson, I believe that the principle of research, the theory, would be kinesthetic learning. Kinesthetic learning is basically hands-on learning, which I love. I feel like everyone learns better through hands-on approaches. To actually experience making something, you learn a lot better. Also, keeping the students involved, it's definitely more effective. As for the assessment, the number one assessment, especially when working with children this young, is always observations, monitoring their interactions, writing down the observations as they complete the task or when they say something in circle. When they say something in circle time regarding the book or when they answer, jot down, see where they're progressing, where they're lacking or not retaining information. The teacher will constantly go back and forth, engage with the students, always keeping them involved. And the second form of assessment would be the activity. The students will be able to express themselves through the arts. They will also be using their fine motor skills as well as eye-hand coordination in order to complete this activity. They will have to identify the color that they do choose to do the activity. So for example, they'll have all the small containers of different color food dye and they'll have to choose one. And we'll repeat, you have to choose only one color. So they'll have to choose which color they want and name that color. The teacher will always support and assist the students with physical and verbal prompting. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. As for Jonathan, hopefully the one-to-one assistance will always help him progress and gain self-confidence, as he loves the attention one-to-one, also completing the assigned task and staying focused on the lesson.